Okay, folks, this is video number 4 for Thursday, March the 26th, and you are learning about verifying identities. This is your first intro into it, and that's why these videos are plentiful, but I have to make them short. That's why you have 4 of them. This one won't be very long. This is your last example. And you do have an assignment posted on the portal, and this actually happens to be number 6 on that posted assignment. Okay, so it looks like this. Verify cosecant theta over 1 plus cotangent of theta, and we need to turn it into, or match it up to, 1 over sine of theta plus cosine of theta. Okay, you could pick which side you want to start with, but I'm going to leave this one alone because I can convert everything pretty much into terms of sine and cosine, and that's what I'm going to do here. And we're just going to use our skills of unlike denominators and what have you. So I'm going to decompose this into terms of things with sine and cosine because that's my goal, right? My goal. So I see sine and cosine. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and convert the numerator to 1 over sine of theta. Okay, that's what that guy is. And the denominator, I'm going to say 1 plus cosine of theta over sine of theta. Okay, well, why did I do that? Well, because I've got to target sine and cosine of theta coming up in my answer. And I know that everything converts back to in terms of sine or cosine one way or the other. Okay, so what we have here is we have unlike fractions, and I showed you at the very beginning how we're going to handle that. Okay, so upstairs we have 1 over sine of theta. We're going to leave him alone for a moment. Downstairs we are going to create our unlike denominator, or a combined fraction. Okay, so all we're going to do to take care of this, remember we're going to multiply, that's like 1 over 1. So I'm going to multiply these two denominators together, which is going to give me a denominator here of sine over theta. Okay, sine of theta. And then I'm going to cross multiply. Well, 1 times sine of theta is sine of theta. Operation is addition. And the other member of my numerator is the cross product of cosine times 1. So that's cosine of theta. Alright, so now I got this big honking fraction downstairs and that little fraction upstairs. Well, that doesn't matter because I can take this fraction down here, alright, and you can look at it as one of 2 ways, guys. Y'all are in pre-cal, alright, so one of 2 ways. You can look at it as a complex fraction, and you can say, I got a fraction inside of a fraction. For me to be able to clear that out, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by the denominator that's bothering me. So that's going to cancel. That's going to cancel. If you look at it from a complex fraction standpoint, you're going to be left with 1 upstairs over sine of theta plus cosine of theta. Alright, we have verified it. Now, that's complex fraction format, alright? Complex fraction. Say you didn't want to do complex fractions. Say you wanted to do the flip and multiply by the reciprocal. Alright, we can do that as well. So we would take this that I had before, and I'm going to put a big or. Okay, you could say 1 over sine of theta divided by our newly constructed sine of theta plus cosine of theta. This is the result of our combining the unlike denominators using what I showed you. Okay, and you could say, okay, I'm going to bring him up and flip him, and we're going to change it to multiplication. Alright, you could do that very thing, multiply by the reciprocal, so that's going to be sine of theta over sine of theta plus cosine of theta, and that's going to cancel these 2 guys out, and again you're left with 1 over sine of theta plus cosine of theta. Either which way, you've got a match, so we verified it. Okay, so that's the last example. Now, you have a posting. I want you to do all the problems, and I don't want you to get frustrated, alright? You can take whatever route you want to take, and then remember, if it's not working for you one way, erase it and start over. But no pen, people. Okay, this is where it gets really messy. If you give me pen, I'm going to fire it right back to you. Okay, so I need you to be clean, and I need your writing where I can read it, and you cannot make up your own math rules. Okay, you have to follow the math rules, of, you know, dividing by the reciprocal, or multiplying by the denominator to clear out a complex fraction, or decomposing a fraction, or decomposing an addition fraction or multiplication fraction. All of those things, you can't just make up your own rules. Okay, so you know the math rules, and they all apply even for trig functions. All right, so I will start on my next video, and that will be for tomorrow. All right, take care, guys.